You're about to see the kind of mistakes that ruin buildings before they even completed. These errors could cost you millions, or worse, someone's life. Let's break them down and learn how to avoid them, step by step. Construction might look simple from the outside, bricks, cement, roof, paint, but behind every strong building is careful planning. And behind every failed one, mistakes made at the earliest stages. One of the first and most dangerous mistakes: ignoring proper site preparation. Builders jump in too fast without clearing trees, debris, or leveling the ground properly. That's the first step to failure. An uneven site can lead to waterlogging, cracked foundations, and poor structural balance. Always clear and level the land before doing anything else. It's the true first step in construction. Next up, incorrect setting out. If the building isn't positioned correctly at the start, everything that follows will be off. That means crooked walls, misaligned doors, and wasted money. Use pegs, ropes, and accurate measuring tools, like a total station. And most importantly, double-check your angles and lengths. One small misalignment at the start ruins everything later. A lot of people also underestimate the foundation. They either make it too shallow, skip proper steel reinforcement, or use weak concrete. That's a recipe for cracks, and worse, collapse. Use the right foundation depth based on soil type. And never guess your mix ratios. Use a standard mix like 1.24 and always allow time for the concrete to properly cure. Which brings us to the next big one: rushing concrete work. Some builders pour and build the next day. That concrete hasn't even cured, and when it cracks later, they wonder why. Concrete needs at least 7 days of consistent watering. Without curing, it dries too fast, loses strength, and becomes brittle. It might look solid, but it's hollow inside, dangerously weak. Let's talk about blocks. Using low-quality or undercured blocks is a silent killer. They look okay, but they crumble under pressure. And once they're inside your walls, it's too late. Always test your blocks. Hit 2 together. If they crumble, don't use them. Better still, buy from a trusted supplier or cast your own under supervision. Your walls deserve quality. Many builders also make the mistake of using 6-inch blocks for exterior walls. That's fine for partitions, but not for load-bearing. You need 9-inch blocks to handle the building's weight. Also, spacing your columns too far apart is another disaster waiting to happen. The roof will sag and walls will crack. Columns should support, not just decorate. Make sure you follow engineering designs for column spacing, and always reinforce properly with the right rebar sizes. Concrete alone isn't enough. Steel is what carries the weight. Let's not forget about lintels and beams. Some skip steel here too, or don't use enough cement. Then you see cracks right above doors and windows a few months later. A good lintel needs steel reinforcements tied well and concrete that is properly mixed and cured. Don't reuse old wooden formwork that leaks and weakens your pour. Roofing mistakes? There are many. But one of the most common is using untreated wood. Termites love that stuff. It'll look fine today and fall apart in a few years. Use pressure-treated wood and always inspect the trusses before roofing sheets go up. Once the sheets are on, it's hard to spot what's rotting underneath. Roofing sheet installation is another area people get wrong. Poor overlaps, no rubber washers, wrong nails. You'll see leaks as soon as the rainy season hits. Always overlap roofing sheets by at least 1 ridge and seal them properly. Use roofing nails with washers to avoid leaks. And check the slope. Water should flow, not settle. Now let's get into plumbing. A mistake here won't show immediately, but when it does, it's messy, very messy. Leaks, foul smells, blocked drains, all from poor planning. Plan plumbing before laying your floor slab. Use strong PVC pipes and create proper slopes to allow water to flow. Don't cut corners. You'll regret it when the floor is finished. Electrical mistakes can be just as bad, or worse. Poor wiring, exposed joints, overloading circuits. It's not just a nuisance, it's a fire risk. Always use quality cables, install conduit pipes before plastering, and don't DIY if you're not trained. Hire a qualified electrician. This isn't the place to cut costs. Another finishing mistake, painting damp walls. People are in a rush. They skip curing and apply paint. The result? Bubbles, peeling, and mold just a few weeks later. Always let plastered walls dry completely before painting. Use anti-mold undercoats for wet-prone areas like kitchens and bathrooms. It's the small things that protect your finish. Skipping waterproofing in wet areas is a huge oversight. Bathrooms, kitchens, balconies, these need protection. Without it, water will seep into the walls and weaken your structure. Use waterproof membranes or additives in plaster and floor screeds. It's a small investment that saves you major repairs in the future. Some people even ignore expansion joints in long walls. Then come hot days, the wall expands, and without joints, it cracks right down the middle. Avoidable but common. If your building has long stretches of wall or concrete floor, include expansion joints. They absorb movement and prevent unsightly and dangerous cracks. Another overlooked mistake? Ignoring soil tests. Not all soil can hold the same weight. Building on clay, swamp, or loose earth without testing could lead to foundation failure. Before you start, get a proper geotechnical soil test. It helps determine the right type of foundation. It's a small cost compared to what you'd lose in a collapse. Builders also make the mistake of overloading upper floors. You install water tanks, tiles, furniture, then realize too late that the slab wasn't designed for it. Always consult your structural engineer before adding heavy loads to slabs. Reinforce accordingly. What the eye can't see can still cause a collapse. Skimping on supervision is another big error. You can buy the best materials, but if workers mix or apply them wrong, quality is lost. Supervision is key. Hire a qualified site supervisor or be present regularly. Check materials, workmanship, and safety practices. Don't assume it's your building. Take control. Some developers ignore ventilation and natural light in their design. This leads to dark, stuffy interiors and poor air quality. Comfort matters too. Plan window positions for cross-ventilation and natural lighting. It reduces reliance on artificial light and keeps the home healthy and airy. Drainage mistakes are another silent destroyer. Improper grading, blocked channels, or no slope can cause flooding, erosion, and damage to your foundation. Ensure the compound slopes away from the building, install proper drain channels, and regularly clean them. Water must be directed away, not trapped near walls. Using cheap, substandard materials to save money might seem smart, but it always costs more later. What you save now, you'll spend double in repairs. Use approved materials from trusted suppliers. Cheap rods, bad cement, or weak blocks are a gamble. You're building for years. Build with that mindset. Rushing the project is one of the most common sins. Everyone wants it done fast, but speed kills quality. Curing, drying, and settling all take time. Create a realistic timeline. Let each stage settle and cure before rushing to the next. The building will last longer and save you future stress. Not consulting professionals is another big mistake. Some think hiring an architect or engineer is optional, but mistakes from guesswork are always more expensive. Invest in professional services. Architects, engineers, surveyors, they help you avoid costly errors and ensure the building meets safety standards. Some people ignore future needs. No provision for solar, water heaters, or extra rooms. Then they have to demolish just to upgrade. Always plan for growth. Even if it's a small project now, think long-term. Leave space for expansion, plan utility lines smartly, and think about resale value or rental potential. Now that you know the mistakes, the real power is in action. Don't just watch, apply this knowledge. Whether you're a builder, homeowner, or enthusiast, build smarter. If this helped you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more building wisdom, and drop a comment. What's the worst construction mistake you've ever seen? Let's learn together.